I am a person that I absolutely love God, and because I love God, I love myself.
But I also had to realize who I was. And when you realize who you are, it makes you love who you are for who you are.
But I had to learn to forgive myself to show that I love myself.
But that's similar to me. I think 2022. That's when I literally titled myself like the Diamond W. You know,
Yeah.
like I am a brand.
Incredible day family. Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast where we focus on making people uncomfortable. Why? Because uncomfortability breeds growth. So I'm going
Mm.
to first allow my brand new co-host to just introduce themselves really quickly, just so the world could know you guys. Go ahead, family.
Hey guys, I am Jasmine Camille Favors, aka Camille the Goddess, aka Healing Favors Skincare, aka Blessed and Highly Favored Baby, because that's why my last name is my last name.
Uh-huh.
Diamond.
Hey, I love it.
Don't
Um,
play with it. Don't play with it.
I met Ron through a whole nother group that we were a part of, and honestly, I am so glad that I met him through that group because we're now like brother and sister, and he can call me, I can call him. We're now a huge family, and now we're broadening our family with other family members. So I just think that is amazing. I hope that you guys enjoy hearing from all of us, and thanks for having me, Ron.
Let's go.
Okay, me next, me next, me next. Yes, everyone, it is Terry and Parker, aka Queen Parker, aka Big TP. And, tapping in
Mhm.
once again. Blessed, happy, and grateful as always, and trying to help everybody else do the same. Yeah, I'm like she said, our family, like y'all, my family for real. I was telling somebody else that because they were like, why am I on the phone so long?" And I'm just like, literally, even when we not recording podcasts, our
Yeah.
conversation is a whole podcast. So like,
A whole podcast.
we'll just be talking for hours and hours. So that's literally how this came about. Like us having the conversation, being Ron, being on the phone, and it literally was like somebody might need to hear this because yeah, and who am I to keep this information to myself? You
Amen.
know,
That
just
part.
a humble servant, and yeah, so I'm just blessed, like I said, to be here. And glad that our family is growing. Shout out to y'all for tuning in, tapping in, and I really appreciate all the feedback, all the love, the support, and let's get this going because we got somebody here today.
So I gotta like give y'all like a quick little backstory, right? I known this individual for about 6 minutes. Now let me stop. I've known her. I've known her for quite some time. We've done business together as well, or at least been in the same business. And when I was thinking of the podcast, I was like, I wanted to start off the new year with someone powerful and someone great. And this individual came to mind, and I'm grateful that it did, but it didn't happen in terms of, things just happen. So we gotta, whatever punches come our way, we just gotta, attack it. And January went, and February is in, and I was able to partner with two other females, which is you guys, and now this episode is actually our first episode for March, but it's not just any old month. It is Women's History Month, Women's Month, right? So it's lit. We got three queens on the call, but without further ado, I just want you to introduce yourself really quickly, and just let the world know who you are. What's going on, Diamond?
Okay, well now they know my name. Now I'm playing, but hey y'all, my name is Diamond, aka the Diamond W, aka the Chairwoman, aka CEO. Period. So, I had to do it. They stepped. I had to step. Like, but Yeah, so I don't know what you want me to say.
So
I knew Ron for about how many years? It's been what, like 3 years now? 4?
dang,
About
about
like
that,
a
yeah,
good 3, 4 years. But
three
yeah,
and a half, something like that.
yeah, we met through a mutual business. Um, I was gonna say the other part, but I don't know if you want me to say the other part. So I'm
It's
cute to
up to
myself.
you.
I already know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh?
Um,
She
I'm
said,
done.
huh? I'm
see?
cracking up. We actually used to date. So we knew each other for quite some time. But yeah, we always on the phone. You know, I feel like every time I'm going through like a spiritual warfare or I need somebody to just like hear me, God tells me call Ron. So I call Ron, and we are on the phone for even if we don't talk for months, we'll be on the phone for hours
That's right.
throughout that day, and it's like, all right, cool. Now I'm back on track. Now I can get back going, and he does the exact same. So I'm super glad to be here to actually share my perspective, because it
Hello.
matters. Uh, and we always have so much good conversation. He's always like, "Wait, like you said that too fast. I need to write that down." Like, so, so I'm grateful to actually have you guys hear what those conversations are like. Um, so yeah.
Let's get it. So,
Glad to have you.
should I introduce myself the way y'all did it? Because y'all was going in,
It's
I'm
too
trying to be
late.
like y'all.
Nah, Jasmine started it. She
It's
started
it's
It
too
was
late
Josh.
actually.
Yo, nah,
We
y'all
have to
lit,
move on
but
now.
we have to, cause we got a lot to talk about. But one thing that I want to shed light on with all three of you guys, and I'm glad that we're all in the same space at the same time because um with the topic that we're talking about, I think it stems from one key source, and we could really get into it, but and that's God, right? But even deeper than that, it's finding yourself, right? It's knowing yourself, and the fact that all three of us, or all three of you guys, are on this podcast, and you guys have shown me specifically different ways, not just on self love, but different ways on understanding that hey, you could have a relationship with God. You know, like you guys have made me challenge me on several different occasions as far as hey, I know you're doing what you're doing, you're an entrepreneur, and so on and so forth, but hey, don't forget God. So it's like I am a person that I absolutely love God, and because I love God, I love myself. So with that brings my first question is, and this could be for all three of you guys. Do you love yourself?
Who you want to go first?
Diamond.
right.
Oh, okay.
Here's
Yes, yes. And honestly, I feel like I couldn't always say that. Like, I'm
Mm,
grateful to actually be able to say that because I used to question whether I did or whether I
mm.
didn't, or how could I if I'm doing this, or how couldn't I when I'm this way. So it's like it took a good while to actually be able to answer that question fully.
Mm. That was real simple, straight to the point too.
I agree.
Well,
I
yeah, go ahead.
look, I had to make sure. Um, yes, I do love myself, and I can honestly say the same thing Diamond said, which is I didn't always love myself. It definitely took me a minute, but I also had to realize who I was. And when you realize who you are, it makes you love who you are for who you are. And
Mm,
you don't have to change for anyone or make yourself a certain you because it's not authentically you. And once I stopped doing that, like being who other people wanted me to be or being a certain way for other people, then I started to really be able to like actually look myself in the mirror and say, wow, like I really do love you. And honestly, from like the half of my 24 years of life to now, and I'm now 25. I've loved myself more than any other time, so it just feels amazing.
I love that.
Thank you, thank
Yes.
you.
Y'all be right on point. I'm like, here we are once again because it took a moment of okay, started off, being younger, just being influenced a lot by everybody else and just thinking, dang, everybody else is doing that. Why am I not like that? Is there something wrong with me? But coming again into realizing that I'm my own person and that just having that freedom of I really don't care what you think about me, like literally.
Mm.
And that's what I kind of yeah, that's just really how I be living my life now. Just to where it's like literally anything that anybody says, like unless it's like somebody important in my life, it really don't phase me a lot. Which before I would be really self conscious about somebody saying like, oh, like you such a nerd, like this that, and the other stuff like that. Like now I'm like, why wouldn't I want to be a nerd? Like they them. The smartest people, the richest
Like that essentially means you're smart. Why would I want to be dumb?
like, come on now. That's not
Right.
like before it was an insult, now it's a compliment. And so just really doing that, then getting into a point of like Diamond was saying, doing stuff that I was like, dang, like, do I love myself? Because I'm doing this, like, but I had to learn to forgive myself to show that I love myself because getting through that like moment of like, yeah, you might have did this, but you gotta understand that, yeah, you can forgive yourself for doing that and grow from it and, still love yourself. So that's what's going on now. I forgive myself. I love myself. Yeah, I know.
Amen.
And
Mm.
yes.
I love that.
That
Running
part.
right.
Huh? Me?
I'm looking at you this time.
Oh
Right.
Yeah.
I wait for
man.
you, Ron.
Oh man. I was just enjoying y'all, man. It's not about me, it's about y'all. But
Of us.
dang, do
Anyway,
I
we're
love
ready.
myself? So that question is deep for me, because I feel like every time when I wanna say yes, there's something in my life that shows me that I'm not completely loving myself. And I had a brief conversation with Diamond earlier, explaining, that to her. But I feel like with myself, hey, it's like seasons to this, like that's why this episode hits me deep because every time I'll be like, yo, I'm lit. Like I love myself, and then like for an example, right? I'm in New York doing what I gotta do, and everybody I'm around, because I guess I was on this entrepreneur high, you know, everybody was able to get the super positive, in me. And then I got to a point where New York was, I'm not gonna say it was draining me, but it was more so that it was a time up. Right. So then I went from truly loving myself to am I really doing what I'm supposed to do? Like, what's going on here? Then, fast forward, I moved to Houston. I moved to Houston. I'm with an ex at the time, and everything was great. And then that relationship took like my confidence of love. Like, I still had faith in God, but I didn't have faith in myself enough to say, "Hey, do you really love yourself?" Like, because I left myself super open, and that's a dangerous thing when you leave yourself open to somebody that is not ready for that kind of vulnerability. They will deliberately destroy you, and it's not that she did anything to me physically, but mentally, I wasn't myself. And then I moved out of that, and whew, dang, I'm giving y'all my whole life story. But I moved out of that situation, and once I moved out of that, it's crazy because when she kicked me out, I was on the streets in Houston. And when I was on the streets in Houston, going from hotel to hotel to literally on the street a couple days, I felt my highest self for some reason. Like I felt like I was truly loving myself and everything. And things eventually started to kick up. I was able to get my own, not really place, this not really house, but more so like a rental spot or whatever. So I was staying in there for a good while. Then I got a job, which it was in the IT field, and from there, for some reason, I wasn't happy. And then there was that season again where I was happy at first, and now I'm not happy anymore, or not even just happy, but now I just feel like I'm not loving myself the way I need. So, um, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I want to ask you guys a question. Has it ever been a season where, just like that, where you felt like you was loving yourself, and then you go from loving yourself to I don't think I really love myself, to back to I love myself, to I don't think I love myself again? Like, has that happened to you?
That just happened to me, actually. I don't know if you remember, um, we talked like, what was it, a couple weeks ago?
Okay,
And I called you and I was like, what's going on? I don't
right.
know. And it's like, for some reason, I feel like when I speak to you, my higher self is speaking. Like my lower
Okay.
confidence, I'm not really loving me right now, isn't speaking because I heard your voice and it directed to what you needed. And I was like, okay, forget about me right now. Like this
Right.
is no
Yeah.
place for both of us to be sad. Like I don't know if you ever heard like when you're sad make somebody else smile type thing. So it's like
Yes.
that's always been my model. But but literally I was down bad.
Wow.
Like I went through a phase. I was on this high like for a month, not physically high, but like a high of life. Like I was so happy. You know, like
Right.
I have my friends. I had the best birthday ever last year. Like I was with my friends um for like the entire week of my birthday. And it's like I felt like I actually had real friends. My business was scaling, doing what it needed to do. So I felt like everything was just going so good. And then I called myself getting a job after 3 years. And I was like, oh, okay. But I knew why I was doing it. So I'm like, okay. When you know the mission, it's like we just gotta get it done. Like that's really just it.
Right.
Um and then after my first month, it was like, okay, cool. Like after my first 2 days, my first week, I was like, oh, I can do this. My first month, I was like, I can't do this. Like this is like I felt like I couldn't juggle both my business and my job, you know? And I always said maybe I should have started it the other way around, but everything happened so fast. I was just like, okay, this this is the here and now. Like this is what it is. So I just felt myself like depleting. I know I'm getting up, getting ready for I'm getting up, handling what I need to handle for business, going to work, coming home tired, don't want to do nothing else, and getting up and doing it all over again. Or handling business, going to work, getting I don't want to say like yelled at, but it's like I was going back and forth with my managers and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, well, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that?" And I'm like, "You literally hired me because you knew I had a business because you wanted me to help you run your business." So it's like dealing with that at work and coming home, still having to deal with business and do it all over again, and it just came to a point where it's like I don't have no time for myself. Like I don't know
Mm.
what to do. I stopped working. I felt like that was the best thing to do. I started over in my business because I felt like that was the best thing to do. But then I felt myself, I guess, being that I didn't have this sense of freedom in a while,
Mm.
I felt myself looking for that freedom. And that goes looking
Right.
for it in parties, outside, guys, whatever. And I was making decisions that I tried so hard to stay away from all those months ago, which is why I was happy. And I felt like I was losing my friends. I was getting into stuff I wasn't supposed to get into. And then I'm looking at myself like, how you just let yourself go like that? Like, what happened? Where did you go? And my whole mental was messed up because I'm looking at the decisions I'm making and I'm like, how did we end up here? Like, are you really like that? Is that the lifestyle you want to live? But it bothered me every time I made that type of decision, but I did it anyway. And it's like, am I curious? Because curiosity killed the cat. Like, I don't, I don't know what you're trying to do over here. And I just remember going to a client's house, and I was having like this anxiety attack, but like to myself the whole way over there. Meanwhile, it's public transportation. The whole way over there. As soon as I get inside the house, I literally go in the bathroom and I break down. And I thank God nobody was there, because I was boo-hoo, snot, tears, all that. Like, it was really just me, God, and that floor. And it was like, I don't know what to do. And it's like I'm praying. And I know, y'all ever prayed? And it's like you trying to ask for stuff. You trying to ask God for stuff or really get your feelings off your chest. But you don't feel it. Like, you not being honest. But it's like he know what you trying to say, so you might as well say it. Like, he know what you really need to say, so you might as well say it. But when you actually say it, you actually feel it. And when I realized I didn't feel it, I started crying more, because I'm like, you're lying. Why are you lying? Like, there's no need to lie. So once I started to like get it off, I cried harder, and I'm like, I needed that so bad. And I can honestly say, like, this past week, leading into this week, I felt way better. You know, like, I'm a little more patient with myself, a little more understanding. Like, all right, you had that little trial and error phase. You know what you don't want to do. You know what you do want to do. Everything's not going to happen overnight, but you have to be patient with yourself. So I feel like I'm really in the season of patience right now, and I can actually look myself in the mirror again and tell myself, I love you. Like, we're going to make sure you're good. You got it. It's okay. Every day is going to be a different day, but as long as you know at the end of the day what the goal is, what you're working towards, you got it. Just keep getting up.
So I think that's a very powerful thing, self-talk. Because a lot of the times it's real hard. You can easily tell your significant other what they need to fix about themselves. But when it's time to have that conversation with yourself, it be a whole nother different vibe. You don't really want to point out the ugly parts, which you dead wrong. And it's like, dang, like I literally took, looking dead in the mirror, like just like standing in the mirror and looking at yourself like, are you serious right now? Like, this is what we doing right now? Like, we really gotta fix this, because if you don't do it, nobody else gonna do it for you, because it's you versus you. Like, for sure. That's the hardest person to beat, is the version of yourself that don't be making good decisions versus the one that do be making good decisions. Like, sometimes you be on the right path, you doing what you're supposed to do. You're like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from this, I'm gonna stay away from that. And then that's why I like Ron, how you said it's seasons. Like, you asked that question right now. So you just so happen to catch me at a time that today I really truly can say it with confidence. And like, being around this energy, like you around high vibrational, like you said, that energy of being around high vibrational people, it really does bring the best out of you. Like, you really are like a reflection of kind of the energy that's around you. That's why some people, they like, oh yeah, no, I gotta, duck off to get better and this and this. But why would you have to do that if the people are around you are supporting you? Like, if they're there for you, then you wouldn't have to go to the side to personally develop. If they are, encouraging you, you will be all right. They will support you. And like, yeah, I know you can be honest with yourself. You can be honest with them. Like, yeah, no, I ain't got it together. I'm trying to get together. We can have that uncomfortable conversation, because that's really what it is. Very much uncomfortable. Very much, you got to slap yourself in the face. Very much. Throw some water. Get back into it. Okay, I'm going to do it. You got to make the ugly face when you're doing it, too. Like, you just, the ugly cry. You just be like, oh, my gosh.
Real snot on your lip. It's on your chin now. You done tasted it. It's a little salty. Like,
Yeah,
Like,
you actually.
You might as well go change your whole outfit after that.
Exactly.
Go take a whole nother shower. You gotta redeem
rinse all
yourself.
that off.
I feel like that's an important part that you made, like the people that surround you. And the crazy part is you could have a whole bunch of friends, but you won't realize that you don't have those type of people that you can go to until you're in that situation. And it's
Yes.
crazy. It's for me it's a feeling. If I feel like when I'm about to express my emotion to you, it tugs at my heart, I can't talk to you.
Yeah.
Mm,
I feel like the people
Feel
who
that.
are meant to hear you, meant to be in your life that way, it comes easy. It comes natural.
yeah.
But if I get a gut feeling just trying to tell you something, it's like, you shouldn't be telling them that. Then you got to spin it back. And you be about to tell them, like, oh, I got to tell you something. Then they wait for you to tell them. You tell them something completely different. Like, it ain't even, I can't share that with you.
That's all
I resonate with all of you guys, honestly, so much. Especially the seasons. That's why I literally said, like the half year of 24 to 25 was when I really started like believing the fact that I really do love myself, because I had to unlearn and relearn and break cycles and
right.
like stop generational curses if I can or could, or like just not make bad decisions. And I would know that they're bad decisions, just like you said, Diamond. And
Mm,
then it just makes it even worse that you're continuing to make those bad decisions because it's going to feel good for 2 seconds, or it's going to feel good for that day, or it's going to feel good for that week. And I can honestly say that I've been so many versions of me since I could
mm,
understand me, if that makes sense.
That makes a
Like,
lot of
knowing
sense.
a person, knowing that I'm a
We
human,
here.
knowing that I have feelings. And it's like, I can truly say, like, from the age of like, ooh, so young, I can honestly say from the age of like 5 years old to now, I've been in so many different levels of love for me.
mm,
And I can truly say that so many of those levels were fake.
mm,
I can truly say that a lot of
sheesh.
those times it was just a facade. It was like having on a mask throughout the day. While I'm
Mm,
crying behind that smile, I'm sad behind being the light for everybody else. And honestly, it was to a point where high school me was completely not who I was at home. Meaning, I was depressed, I was sad, I was lost, confused. I didn't want to be alive. I didn't feel like I belonged in my family. I didn't feel like, I just felt like I was a problem. I felt like, why am I here? I don't fit in. What is this?
mm,
I don't get it. I'm always a disappointment. I'm always doing something wrong. I'm always saying something wrong. Why did I get put here if I just keep, messing up? And it's like, I would try so hard to do good in school. That was like my way of helping me love myself, because I knew that I was making my dad proud or my mom proud or anybody else proud. Like, I did so well in school, the top of my class, in every single class, like the best grades in the whole entire 10th grade or however it went. Like, I was in everything. I did almost everything. And a lot of that was so I could just stay away from being at home.
mm,
Because when I was at home, I felt like you're nothing. You don't amount to happiness. You don't amount to, this or that. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve that. Obviously, you're not that good enough. Why does other people see this? Why do other people see that? And it's just like, I didn't realize what I was showing other people was me, But I was so hurt that I couldn't realize, like, Jasmine, you really are a light to other people. You
Mm.
really, like, you really do make everyone smile. And it makes sense to me now more than ever. Excuse me, like, when people would actually find out what I went through, like, in high school and middle school, they'll be like, what? There's no way you was going through that because you were smiling every day. You were making people laugh all day. Like you're like the main person I was waiting to see once I got to school. You're the main person I wanted to see once we got on the bus. What do you mean you were going through that? Like, what do you mean you were raped? What do you mean you were going through things with your father? What do you mean you wanted to kill yourself? What do you mean you tried to kill yourself? What do you mean? Why? And it's just like I had to realize I didn't know me enough to love me. I may have been my person and I may have written out my problems and I may have journalized them. I may have tried to communicate them, but I also didn't have someone teaching me how to communicate my feelings. Like I would
Mm.
try, and then like as a child, a lot of children grow up like, okay, you can't express yourself with frustration because it's going to come off as disrespectful. So a
Mm.
lot of times I could not share how I felt because it was going to come off as disrespect because I am now learning what frustration is.
Mm.
And you have to realize, like, some people's parents weren't raised in the way that people will raise their kids now, or some parents weren't blessed with parents that were understanding and that would listen. A lot of parenting back then was like, you listen, you be quiet, you do what I say, and that's it. If I tell you not to do something, don't do it. If you have an opinion, you're disrespecting me. So it was just like the voice I did have was so strong, but I didn't realize how strong it was because I felt like when I used it, it was a weapon to others.
Sheesh.
Even when I wasn't trying to make it that, that's how it was looked at. So it made me feel like I was just the most imperfect person, but I had to realize that's what made me perfect, being so imperfect, being so
Definitely.
outspoken. And honestly, I feel like that's one of the biggest blessings I have now because I'm so much more able to speak out and share my feelings and like give that raw, authentic, this is how I feel. This is how you make me feel. This is how I make myself feel. And I had to realize the more I'm honest with myself out loud, the more I can look myself in the mirror and say, good job. Like, there's nothing wrong with expressing yourself. There's nothing wrong with telling someone how you feel. There's nothing wrong with being mad. There's nothing wrong with being sad. You're a human. You're not perfect. God put you on this earth for a reason. And yeah, a whole bunch of seasons, but not just a season. Lessons, like all of it. So it's like I had to realize I'm so outspoken because I'm going to be the one teaching like we're doing right now.
Mm.
I had to realize like I had a voice for so long but couldn't use it because I had to develop so many other pieces in my brain to be able to get to this point of like you need to open your mouth. Had I never went through what I went through, I would probably still be a little shy, little, oh, I'm okay, and just write it all down. But now, what I write down, I can say out loud too. I can literally read
Mm.
you my journal if I wanted to. So I just love that about me. Um, I've been through a lot, those ups and downs with really loving myself, like almost dying, not really being happy, almost literally dying because of how unhappy I am. I'm trying to make myself happy with decisions, like trying different drugs because weed wasn't enough. Now I'm sitting here looking crazy in the hospital telling myself, Jasmine, you're smart. Like,
Right.
why are you, come on now. Why make
Mm.
these types of decisions knowing it's going to go a certain way? Knowing it's going to be some type of serious something that's going to um, be a huge backlash for you because you have to realize you're God's child and you're one of his favorites too. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't even be right here. And because of that, God has to chastise me a little harder than he may chastise others because I know better. And I know better because I feel those feelings just like you said, Diamond. I feel those feelings and I still do it. And I knew I shouldn't have done it. So now God has to show me or let me go through something, or he has to show me something that's going to tear me down so hard to where I have to humble myself completely
Wow.
and say, look, you're so much better than that. And yes, feel that shame because you're so much better than that. And I'm glad. I just thank God for even letting me go through so much shame and so much disappointment within myself because I know I'm better. I know I'm greater. I know that I have a calling and anointing on me, my family, all of that. And I like you just have to tap into it. And I know that I've tapped into it now. So I love this topic because I can talk about
You made my inner child feel like she had a friend that she never knew. Like everything you said, that reminded me of me in middle school. Like I had so many flashbacks. Like
yeah,
talking to myself, it was me and my guidance counselor and my notebook. I wrote down everything. I felt so unfit and I tried to do everything to make me fit and
yeah,
nothing worked. And I didn't learn until I got older. You can't fit yourself into a place that you were never meant to be in.
oh
Like
my
you
God.
are not the missing like you are not the missing piece to anybody's puzzle that you
Oh
don't
my
belong. Sometimes puzzles get mixed up. Like it's okay. It's literally okay, but it's like you weren't meant to be a part of everybody puzzle. And I feel like when I learned that, when I not even when I learned that, because you know how learning and accepting happens at two different times. When I
yeah.
accepted that, because I used to try to make myself fit and cut my own corners, like, nah, we gonna be here. Like, oh, you wear your hair
Okay.
this way? Oh, we finna wear our hair this way. Oh, you wear makeup? Oh, we finna wear makeup. And wearing makeup was I wear makeup right now. I like makeup, but I don't love it. Like, I feel like I completely lost myself after high school. Like, middle school, emotionally, it's like you said, I'm still learning myself. Like, I don't really know who I am yet, but I know I don't like the position that I'm in right now. I don't like my family situation. I don't like my friend situation. I don't like how I feel in the inside. I don't like that I'm trying to plan to escape, to run away every single night. I don't like that I'm crying every single day. Like, what is this? Then I got to high school and I was bullied all throughout my life. Not all throughout my life. Pre-K, listen, okay, I could pop collars and walk around looking like the sugar honey iced tea, okay? But when we got to elementary school, from elementary school to 10th grade, I would never do it again. I would never repeat it. Like you said, I literally had to keep my grades up in school so I could feel like I'm worth something, at
Somebody.
least to myself. But it
Yeah.
made me feel worse because my mom never even came to my parent teacher conferences. And then my dad would show up, and then when my dad showed up, I see my mom show up for my cousin. And I'm like, how you go to theirs, but you
Mm,
don't even look at my report card. I live
mm,
with you. Like this don't even make no sense. And it got to the part where my dad was showing up for me, and I didn't live with my dad. My dad was a weekend dad. Like I didn't live with my dad. So for him to do the things that he did, I called my dad every day faithfully in the morning. I was trying to live with him for 3 years. The moment I got the opportunity to go, I was out of there. I've been here for 11 years now. Like, literally, I need to leave the nest. But it's like, literally. But it's like, even then, I thought it would make me better. You know, I feel like, okay, I got a little sense of freedom now. I never had my own room up until I lived here. Now I have my own room. I got some space. I'm working. I'm doing different things. But at the same time, I'm still learning myself. And
Yeah.
I forgot that part just a little bit. You know how you think, okay, I wanted this so bad. This must be me. Like, this must
yeah.
be it. But then you get there and it's like, who's this? Like, like what's that? Like, I don't know. Then you start doing a whole bunch of different things that you think make up you because you asked to be in this place, and it's like, no, that's still the trials and tribulations of you coming into who you think you're supposed to be right now in this moment. And as I'm growing into that a little more, I'm like, okay, cool. We got that. We got over that hump. All right, cool. Let's jump back into it. Oh no, now you're pregnant. Wait, huh? Like, where did that come from? Now it's like,
Oh man.
your life just took a different toll. You don't even know who you are yet. How are you about to learn a child? Like, that's not the place for you. So, okay, take a step back. Let's start over. It's a child that I wanted, but it wasn't a child that I couldn't keep. My circumstances wasn't going to allow me to do that. My dad wasn't going to allow me to do that, and my mother didn't even know. So now it's like, all right, cool. Spin it back. Start over. Then my dad gets sick. Now it's like I have to be older than I am. Now I'm working 2 jobs in high school, trying to keep my grades up, trying to graduate. And I can't even look my dad in the face every day because he don't look the same. Like, I have to take my glasses off so I can look at him so he looks normal. And then it's like, I don't think this is it either. We got to do it over. Thank God he's better now. Start over. Now you're an entrepreneur. Good. But you're 17. What are these books? Who are these people? What is this? Who are you trying to be? But that's when I felt like my best self, when I stepped into entrepreneurship. I'm like, this is what I want right here. But to what measures? Oh, now this is giving me cult vibes. Now these people don't look the same way that they did when I first met them. I'm more knowledgeable now. I'm more, I found my groove, but now I have to find my place. Like, all right, cool. Move on to the next opportunity. This feels better. They're not the right people either. They're not the right people either. Business trained you for the new business, but this isn't your place. And that's when I realized, like, I had to really sit and think, and a lot of things from my past didn't get to me until I got to a place again where I realized I did not know myself. I thought I knew myself as a entrepreneur now, but it's like, in reality, you're using your now to cover up things that you didn't get over in your past. And you're not going to be able to elevate to who you're really trying to be in this season until you can uncover that, heal from those feelings, step into who you are now, and now we can elevate you to the next step. So I feel like I've been in the same season for years. And it's like, how could that be? And it's like, there's things you have to learn. And one thing that I feel like I learned in that moment is, until you truly, 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 truly learn from what happened previously, it's going to keep happening.
Yes.
And it was like, I cannot be here again. Like, this, I'm in the same place I was last year in a different space. What are we doing? And I got so fessed up with myself. And it's like, yo, this can't be. It really can't be. But all in all, as I look back, I think like last week, as I really looked back and I had to replay myself, and I had to forgive all of those parts of me. All those parts who were scared, all the parts that wanted to run away, all the parts that felt unheard, because I held on to her for too long in every part of my life, to where she showed up everywhere. Even when I thought she wasn't here no more. It was like, no, you're still that scared little girl. You still can't fully speak up, and you have presence in the room, but you're not fully present, because there's parts of you that's still wounded that you have to heal from. You're not over the baby that you lost. Like, you're not over that. You're not over the heartbreaks. You can't even jump into relationships right now. It's not working for you. But it's like, you want to be an entrepreneur, though. Stick with that, but heal. Like, that's okay. And the moment that I started to accept the past parts of me and learn that it's okay, I can now actually feel myself elevating to who I'm supposed to be.
Amen.
So,
I'd love to see you.
I did want to ask you guys a question.
Wait.
She
Hold
said,
on, Hold on.
not to laugh. I don't like this question
Wait,
already, just because she laughed.
wait. I gotta, before y'all get into it, because y'all said so much
Right, I
in
got
my
bullet.
heart.
How you?
Right, me
Okay.
too. Like, yo, like, so first of all, to my subscribers or to people that are watching this podcast, please like and subscribe because there's going to be a heck of a lot more going with this. But oh man, where do I start? Like you guys said so much. But I have a question for you guys that's going to lead into another question, right? And the first question I want to ask is, do I have your permission to make you uncomfortable?
Here we go.
Wow. So you just
It's
gonna
funny how that's not a new question from you.
Because that's the
And
standard. Like
I actually
literally,
love that you asked that question, but it ain't new.
it's
I feel like
not
we
new.
just on a
It's not
regular
new.
phone call, right?
That part. But that question leads into another question that I don't want you to answer. I want you to think about it, right? And the question is,
Write it down.
when was it ever, when is a time or when is a period for it to be a me season? When
Be a
is
what?
when is it a time or a period for it to be a me season? Like, is there really a time for me season? And the reason why I want you guys to think about that, right, is because and this is my perspective on it is that it's always a time for a me season. Or no, I said it wrong. We are always in a me season. Like you're never out of a me season. Like I've been helping so many people and trying to not trying to, but with Operation Hope, help one person each day. I focus on making sure I help somebody in a way that they leave at least 1% better, 1% better than when they came in my presence or listening to my voice. And with that, I realized that a lot of the answers that I was giving them, and these are several different people. I'm talking about like over hundreds of people. Like I have deliberate, I want to say, relationships with people to have these kind of conversations, and the answer is all the same. And the answer to everybody's problems, including my own, is becoming becoming a better version of yourself. Like we focus on, you know what, I gotta make some more money to get this deal on. I gotta learn a new skill. I gotta, meet this person or I gotta do this or I gotta do that. And it's like, nah, the real situation, the key to it all is you just have to become a better version of yourself. So why is it that you are focused on everything else except the season that you're always in, which is you good, T?
I'm
She's
Oh,
she's
she's
she's like she's the backup. She's the hype man.
You need to focus on you. You need to
hilarious.
focus on me. Because I had a point in
I'm
myself. I was
weak.
like, I was answering your question, but I was really thinking about me. I was
I'm
looking at
weak.
myself, pointing to myself. But yeah,
I'm
You
like,
know
wait, what
how when
happened?
you got three other
definitely.
people on the screen, they're going like,
Like,
Wanted
I'm
to
like, is this
hurt
some of
What are they
is it
doing?
my face? What's going on?
follow
But
me.
yeah.
but to end it off, 'cause I really want to hear from you guys. But there's a couple of things I wanted to let off and pour out into you guys. Is one, your environment plays a part in loving you. Like with everybody's response, I heard something common, which is the fact that everybody's environment, whether it's a good thing or whether it's a bad thing, right? Or maybe it's both, right? Or maybe it's a part of the environment here, it was good, and a part of the environment, maybe I stayed too long, or whatever the case may be, and it was bad. But whatever the case is, your environment plays a part in loving you. And if we don't focus on intentionally putting ourselves and placing ourselves in an environment that's conducive to our growth, then we will always stand still. And what's
Mm.
that saying? If you're not
Mm.
growing, if you're not
Indeed.
growing, you're dying. That's just what it is, right? So, and the next thing, because I got to run through these bullet points. I know y'all about to go ham. Um, the next thing that I wanted to say was when it comes to healing, which is very, very, very important. Like, if you're not focused on healing, then you won't know how to fully love yourself, right? So, in order to do that, you have to be vulnerable. You got to be truthful, and you got to say, "Hey, um, there's these parts of me that's actually true that I'm just not trying to confront." And I heard this quote. It said, "You can't heal what you don't reveal."
Amen.
So if you continue hiding, how can God be able to heal you? You know, how can you really find that moment or time or just growth period where it's like, hey, I'm loving myself now, but you won't be able to because you continue hiding the things, right? Whether you're addicted to something, whether you have a low self esteem of something, whether you've been just talked about and just been believing everybody else's voice except your own. Like, I know that right there was for me where when I was super young, um, I focused on other people's voices or opinions. And because I was young, and everybody telling me, hey, you just young, you ain't go through nothing. And I'm just like, okay, you might be right. I'm not going through nothing. I'm young. I'm not of age to go through anything. I'm only a teenager, you
Right, I had
know?
no
Those
But
bills.
days.
right, like it doesn't have an age, a age requirement. You have to understand that everybody goes through something, and it
Mm.
really was. I think this podcast was birthed then, like literally, because when I realized, hey, people aren't understanding my perspective or my voice, how could I be able to use it? And then when I stepped into the entrepreneurship realm, it helped me understand that in order for you to get people to hear you, you have to become a valuable person. If you have no value to yourself, why would anybody take the time to listen to you? So I started to become a valuable person, and I started to, when I became valuable, the only way I could have done that was through self love, was through personal development. I couldn't do it through anything else. Right? I was a great speaker. I was great this, great that, great baller, all these different things. I was a computer technician. I'm quick to think on my feet, all of that, but that means nothing if I don't personally develop. So I wanted to ask you guys a question, and then Jazz, you could ask yours, and y'all could do your thing. But my question to you guys is, oh, you have one? See? Wait. All right.
Nah, I'm just here. Like, yeah, my phone overheated because it was getting real spicy in here for a second, with Jazz is speaking. But I'm back and I do have something to say. Thank God. Because Luke chapter 9, verse 25 in the
Go
New
ahead with the
International
scripture.
Version.
Get into it.
Uh huh.
What good is it for someone to gain the whole
The
world
whole world and
and
lose.
yet lose or forfeit their very self?
I almost threw my
Ooh.
AirPod at you.
Come on now. Come on.
Look, because
Come
when I
on.
tell you, y'all sitting here is telling me my life story, and I'm just like, wow. I'm
It's
just in the
crazy how
audience.
we
All
got.
I need to do is
How
be
do
in the
we all
audience.
got the same life? Like,
Like,
let me know.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
we was poor. in that house.
Yeah.
Like, not we can't even afford the other O and the R. It was very much Poe. And so going to school and being around, just that environment of, oh yeah, no, everybody else got Uggs. I want some Uggs too. You are not getting no $300 boots. Who
You getting Old Navy boots? My dad got me 2 pairs. Okay, they still didn't cost me about some Uggs.
Like what? And really reflecting on that, it's just like that made me realize how good of a person I was, that it didn't really matter if I had it or didn't have it. The only person who was concerned about it was me. Which brings me to my second point, because you worried about all of this, but if you just doing it just to fit in with somebody else, then you're forfeiting the originality of yourself. Like, you're literally giving it up. And when you were saying just learning yourself and how you were rebuilding and going back to backtrack, something that I recently learned was that you're not learning yourself, you're not finding yourself, you're creating yourself. You literally have to pick and choose, what do I want this person to look like? What do I want to be? Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And really, like, again, another point, understanding that our parents didn't have no type of emotional intelligence in their lives was a step of, okay, I forgive you, but I got to work on myself to heal. So I'm not blaming you for it, but it was a time where I was like, dang, I'm emotionally detached because you like this. We not really, all lovey-dovey, hug and express our feelings and, talk about our emotions. Like that was how I felt. Like, that's how I felt. It's like, express my emotions. Like, you're being extra right now, but I was being dead for real. Like, this is really how I feel. And I'm like, if you want to say I'm exaggerating, then I'm gonna just keep it to myself. Now I know that that's not a safe space for me to share my information. And that's why, having my best friend there, like, we could tell each other everything, go to each other about anything, and that was like literally helping me through a lot of stuff. Like, that and God, like, you just be like, Lord, fix it, because ain't nobody hearing me. Oh, you the only other person I can talk to at this point, because I'm talking to myself. Like, nobody is hearing me, and it sucks, because is this how they felt? Like, is that how our parents felt when they was growing up? Like, no, they had nobody to talk to, and you see it in your grandparents. You be like, dang, they really like that for real. Like, they ain't no telling what they had to go through. And so it is a process, and it is us having to break those generational curses. And so it is hard. Like, creating that person is like hard. Like, it's just like creating a masterpiece. You sitting here, like, you ever be drawing something, scratch it out, throw it away. I don't like that. Gotta add a little bit of this, add a little bit of that. Start over again. Like, when you were saying that, that's really what was popping up in my brain. Just like, if you're making a sculpture, you just really have to focus in on certain parts and pieces, and it really takes time to really become the picture that you wanted to become. That's why self-love is a journey. It's not a destination. It's not, oh, hey, am I loving myself? Like you said, it's always me season. It's always a time to think about yourself first, because if you ain't got it, you can't give it to nobody else. If my cup is empty, how am I pouring into yours?
They think it's magic. No.
Right. So I have to, like, it ain't no other way. Like, I can't really help nobody else if I ain't really paying attention to myself. And that be the sucky part about it, because you really be wanting to help folks and you ain't even got it in you. Like, I really want to help them, but I really can't right now. It's just I haven't been loving myself how I'm supposed to, and like, yeah, we just
you
gotta
ever have
really...
somebody get mad at you for that?
Yes.
Oh my God.
It just be like, how you mad at me because I want to love myself?
Every time.
That part.
People hate to, like, I know it's haters out there, but they hate to see you love you. Like, that's a whole different... You gotta really hate yourself to not want to see somebody else love themselves.
But like now that I think about it, you have to know what loving yourself look like. So maybe to them, your loving yourself journey or process was probably it just looks so bizarre and abnormal because they aren't obviously loving themselves. So they like, nah, why you acting fake now? Like now you don't want to talk to me no more. You want to answer messages? Like, yeah, I think that's definitely a thing. Yeah.
Right now, you too good to be doing that. So you too good to be doing that. No, it's not that. I'm just like really trying to like not do as much bad stuff as I was doing at first.
That
like,
part.
that's
Like, I can't see you right now because I know what happens when I see you. Like,
Right.
that could it could be a variety of different things. Like, you just really, I'm healing from you. It's you. No, it's not you. It's me. But it's me around you, and me gotta not be around you. So me gotta make the decision to leave you alone. Okay.
No, for real, because we is toxic together, Lord. Like every time we have a good old time of
And you come back home and
doing the wrong
regret
stuff.
every minute. You be like,
boy,
I ain't
we
never
had
doing
a
that again.
time
As soon as
tonight.
they text you,
Oh my God, I was
right now.
Yeah, that's funny. Go ahead, Jazz. You had a question? Hit us with the question.
Yeah, I have 5,000 questions, but Ron went to take all the question time, so I guess I'll just ask one of them. So, so since Ron stole my shine earlier when I wanted to make you guys uncomfortable, I'm gonna steal the shine back and ask you guys: do I have the permission to make you all uncomfortable?
It's a lot of uncomfortability going on. No, I'm playing.
It's a lot.
Right, like it's a little warm in here.
It's
My
okay.
phone overheating, and I'm about to overheat too at this point. Like,
y'all gonna be comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's how you truly love yourself.
That's how you.
That's the motto all 2023. We extra comfortable.
Extra comfortable with that uncomfortability, baby.
I'm bumpy.
Not the new blood. She blood. She talking about bumpy.
Don't have people out. Don't have the oodles outside my window. Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna get you done. Okay, guys. So, I feel like my other two questions were pretty much asked. So here's the one that I feel like is gonna be like a right. So listen up. Yeah, that was for you. Okay, so and everyone in the virtual metaverse world that's watching this right now, do you love you like God loves you?
I'm about to hang up on you.
Do you?
Oh, that's the one. That's in my notes.
Real life, okay?
Do you love you like God loves you? And it's okay to not, because I'm still getting there.
Yeah, I'm on that journey. It's crazy because the same day I had that last conversation with Ron, and the same day I had that conversation with my friend Amber, and I was telling her what I was going through, and I called her so that she could pray with me. Like, I really needed somebody to pray with me because I felt like mine just wasn't working, or I just didn't know what to say. And she said everything. Like, I ran the whole problem down to her like she was Jesus himself sitting at the edge of my bed. And she resonated with me to a point and brought me to understanding, and she prayed with me. But one of the things that she said was, okay, so I feel like in order for me to do that, I have to do this. Okay, so I've been battling with a sex addiction for like years. And she told me, because she knows about it too, and she told me, you have to stop looking at it as an addiction, because it's more of something that your mind kind of just, dang, what did she say? She used a certain word.
It's just
when it's kind of more, huh?
It's just spirits.
Yeah, but it's something that she said, and it's more of like
Coping.
you have to not coping, but you got to basically rewire your mind. Like it's some things that you have to it's habitual. There we go. She
Yeah,
said it's more of like a habitual. You feel like, okay, you in a room, you with a guy, y'all drinking, y'all smoking, whatever. What comes next? You know, like your mind automatically takes you there. And I expressed to her that's like even when I'm in those moments, it's not even like I want to do it. It kind of just happens, and even while it happens, it's like, dang, I'd rather not be doing this.
I know
And
some.
she said that it's more of a habitual thing, and I feel like what you need to do, really, obviously if you want to, but you have to view sex how God views sex. You have to view marriage how God views marriage, view dating how God views dating, and then view you how God views you. So that you can truly embody the person that you're trying to be in
Yeah,
these situations. Like, you have to relearn this whole thing. And I was like, you know what, you're right. You're
that's so
right.
true.
And I never looked at it like that, like ever.
Wow.
So
That's
we that was only 2 weeks ago. So we getting there. We ain't there yet, but we
I do want to tell you something with that diamond. I'm sorry if I'm cutting anybody off, but I completely understand where you're coming from. Just as me, a person that's come from like rape and things like that. Um, I can truly say for like a few years of my life, sex was habitual for me. Um, I guess because I had been introduced to it so early.
I have the same. We share that in common, actually.
Yeah, so it's like being that I was introduced to it non-consensually, by the
Mm,
time it was consensual, it was almost like I couldn't stop.
mm,
Not with like multiple people, but like with the first guy that I was ever like truly with that I chose to be with. I was with him for 5 years and it was like a non-stop thing for me. And
Hmm.
and then it's like the next person I dated, it was almost like I used to be a people pleaser. So it's like I knew men wanted sex. So if I'm with someone, I know that I have to have sex with them. Even if that meant I didn't want to, I just knew, okay, this will make him happy because that's what he wants and he'll
mm,
probably be nicer to me if I just conform to whatever the hell he wanted to do. But then being raped as a child and being raped as an adult is two totally different things. And I experienced both of them. So it's like as an adult, it's literally taking me away from wanting to have sex at all. And
mm,
like I've gotten to a point where I will completely stay away from men because it's still in the back of my head that you're gonna want to have sex with me, and I don't want to have sex. Even if I want to have sex with you, I genuinely just don't want to partake in the action of doing it because
mm,
I have so many traumas, I have so many triggers. It's just like for some reason into sex for me, I'll probably start freaking crying. Like, and I've done that before. Like, I've had anxiety attacks. I'll just burst into tears off of one simple thing that happened, or like I'm just not in the mood anymore, and it just feels like I'm a sex doll or something. And it's like now I feel unappreciated. Now I feel like this is all you want from me because I've been through so much. And then it's like it's just a lot for me, and it's like I want to get married. I want to be looked at as a wife, or and I don't think I've ever like had like a whore phase because it's like I've always been a one man girl, but I will say that I could have respected myself more when I'm being with a person, and I had to learn self love though because I would like do a lot of things for other people and not me. But it's like now that I know I'm not gonna have sex with you, I won't even invite anybody to my house. But because I know you're gonna probably want to touch me. I look good. Let's just get that. I look great.
Period.
But it's like I'm more than my looks. My insides are way more beautiful than my outside, honestly.
Like my
And
brain is sexy as hell.
my brain is sexy.
Okay.
Like, and my heart is even more gorgeous and magnificent and beautiful than any other feature that I have. So it's just like when I want to connect with a person, it hurts me to the core when it starts to make me feel like you want me for my body. And that may not even be the case. But if I feel that, then I know a piece of that is true if it's not completely true. Because you don't feel things for no reason.
Exactly.
You don't feel anything for no reason. So I've just gotten to the point where I'll just stay away from you. Like, because I know in some type of exchange, you're going to want to have sex with me because you're being a man. Or you're going to want to do something I don't want to do. And it's not because of you. It's because of my own decisions that I've kept making over and over and over and over. And I'm tired of making those decisions because God said He doesn't want you to have sex until you're married. And I promise you, I understand why He said that.
That part.
I understand why He said that. Because soul ties is one thing you will never get rid of. Anybody that you've been with, you will probably never not think about, even if you don't think about them every single day. They're going to cross your mind. They're going to cross your social medias. They're going to cross you some type of way, whether you want it or not. And like even people that are like the worst people for me, I still think about them. And I had to realize like there has to be some type of decorum and discipline there. Like if you don't want to do it, Jasmine, don't. Actually, the more you say no, the more you're going to weed out those people that think you're just going to say. It's like, no. You want? Can I come? No, you cannot. You want to come to my house? No, I cannot.
We can go outside.
You want to take me on a date?
Right, we go on a date.
That be the one, like,
you know,
we too old
around
at
other
this
people.
point.
We are too old. I'm not finna Netflix and chill. I got my own Netflix and Stars and Hulu account. Baby, I don't need to come to your house to watch the same shows I've been watching at home.
I don't watch TV.
But yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to listen to the podcast and you over here watching these shows. Like, what is you talking
You don't even know what kind of shows I like. Talk about some Netflix and shit. What if we don't watch the same shows?
What if we don't watch
That's how I know I ain't fully there yet. Because when you was like, I know why God said that, and then you said soul ties. I'm over here thinking about unsatisfaction. It's levels. We gonna get there though. We is gonna get there. But I feel like that's the second one because everybody wasn't meant to please you the way your person was meant to please you. I mean, emotions that comes with a lot that goes.
I'm not even gonna lie. There was a whole phase. There was definitely a whole phase, and there's a whole spirit, and it ain't even. It is. I'm dead. I'm being dead for real. Cause I'm being honest. The podcast was for me to be transparent.
I second that.
If it ain't revealed, it ain't healed. So I'm healing right now, and so y'all gonna let me do that? Do I have the permission to make y'all uncomfortable?
Yes, ma'am.
Because when you're beautiful, like ugly people don't have these problems. Ain't nobody coming at you on a regular basis, trying to talk to you, trying to be like, dang, you look so good. Like I want to get to know and dang on well. Don't even remember your middle name. Can't remember your birthday for real.
They didn't even ask your middle name. They don't even know you got one.
And then it just be at a point to where like it just be like, okay, I'm gonna just get out the way to see if you really real about it. And that's unhealthy because again, it's just like you're not templing yourself. Like it's really like that level, having that level of respect to where it's just like, dang, I really do want to be somebody's wife. And how I'm gonna be somebody's wife if I'm out here being somebody's side piece? You can't
Mm.
do both at the same time. It don't work like that. And you, like Ron was saying earlier, you really attract what you
Yes.
are. And so if you attracting that energy, then it's something about you that's giving off that vibe. Or somebody might know somebody might talk, and then bruh, niggas talk more than females, and that's in all actuality. Like, you would think that, we this between us, but no,
No.
so and so done
It's
heard
between you
about it.
and the
This
boys.
nurse done heard about it, and
They done told their group chat before we told our group chat.
like, what?
They done sent the picture of you before
Before
you
it
even
happened.
came to the Netflix and chill.
Before you even.
We beat y'all to it.
Look,
Really?
you all the way
Oh, we
right
bashing you,
now.
Ron? I'm so sorry, not sorry.
Like, come on now. And
Yeah.
then when you do find that person that genuinely like loves you for you, it hit different. And then it's like, dang, like, am I even prepared to be loved like this? Again, you got to get to the level of loving yourself how
Yeah.
God loved you, to answer your
I
question, for
swear.
you to have somebody else to love you like God love you. Because
Can we talk about how we always feel like that's too good to be true when it do happen though, because we don't love ourselves
You
enough?
don't be ready. That just shows you don't be ready. I promise, and I hate that. I be like, damn, I'm really not ready for this shit. Like,
I can cry myself.
If I could be honest, I felt that in my life. I feel like at least twice, and I don't know if I told you this wrong, but it was with you the first time. And I don't know if you remember the last week that we was together. I literally cried every day that entire week. And you kept trying to, like, it's like when I tell y'all he was perfect, this man could do no wrong. He wouldn't hurt a fly. I wake up and turn around 6 a.m. He is praising and worshiping. I wake up to him singing. Like, okay. He could have a long day out and come home and cook for me because I'm not feeling well. But it's like I just knew in my heart and my soul that I was not ready, even though this was like the beginning of the pandemic. So we got to be trapped in the house together. And it's like you don't know somebody fully until you live with them. And it's like it was every day. So it's like I'm learning him and I'm accepting him for who he is and he's accepting me for who I am. But in the back of my head, I'm like, how could you? Like, there's so many parts of me that you don't even know and you don't even understand yet. But yet you're loving me like you knew me before I knew me. Like, literally. And I cried for an entire week until I left. And I was like, I can't. It's not even you. I just can't.
Yeah.
For real.
and that's big for you to even do that, though. I do that too. Like, I'd be like, I ain't even gonna mess with you because look, I'm too damaged, and I ain't got time to be damaging you.
Like, I'm not even trying to mess with me. Like
what? I'm just like, y'all. Somebody proposed to me. Like, I was fully engaged, y'all. Like,
I remember that.
And yeah, it was the. At first, I said, I was like, at first it was a maybe, then I was like yes, and then I said no. And just for it to be a maybe at the first point should have been red flag number one of myself. Like, why? This is what you asked for. Like, you said you wanted to be married by 23 so you can start having kids.
That was so mean.
By 20.
Oh,
Dang, no. She was getting spicy.
She was. Oh, and I do want to say for that, Ron, I'm sorry.
No, I'm crying. I'm about to cry now.
Don't cry.
So dang. I wanted T to finish, but
she'll be back.
So I wanted to talk about it was a lot that you guys revealed. I wanted to talk about sex, but because we're here, I want to stay here really quickly. Too good to be true. Oh my god. So as women, right? I'm not a woman, but as women, you guys face the the bozos that are super attractive to y'all because you guys are attractive. As a good man, we are not seen as a real thing, right? That too good to be true is like, you not really, you not really.
Back my cheek.
Look at her pop. Right, she just pop.
She said,
But like as a good man, because you're meeting certain standards and certain crossing the T's and dotting the I's, it's like as and I'm just gonna assume as a woman you're gonna make the assumption I'm not worthy of this. Like
Yeah.
I'm not worthy of having. I want that's what I want. I got on my Christmas list. I got on my checklist. I got on my do's. This is the man that I. This is everything. If there was ever a perfect life, this would be it. But just in general, like not even just from a female perspective, but just in general, we'll have a specific thing that we want, and it's like it crosses everything out. Like, yes, this is exactly what I want, but when we get it, there's that unfortunate phrase, um, too good to be true. And because we think that it's too good to be true, we think that we're not worthy of that. And in the Word of God, and I think I I missed the exact number, but I remember a pastor preaching this, and he said in the word of God, it speaks like hundreds of times, right, about how worthy, or better yet, how unworthy we are of things, yet God still gives it to us.
Yes.
So because we are unworthy, technically we are worthy to have everything that He wants or have for us because we are His. Like, if I can leave you guys, the women, right, and every woman that's listening to this podcast, if I can leave you guys with something, it is I want you to hold on to this, right? That you are enough. You
Ryan,
are. If they,
Thank you,
go
sir.
ahead.
I wrote them down. Look, I got affirmations written down. I'm finna say them right now because I don't know when the devil gonna take over my phone again. Because I promise you, every time it starts heating up, look, the phone not heated up. Then I took it off the charger so it wouldn't heat up, didn't die. But Lord, I accept myself unconditionally. I am enough, perfect, whole,
Mm.
growing constantly, evolving constantly, unique, special. I'm awesome. I'm good looking. I forgive myself, and I am at peace with my past. I choose
Mm.
me, and I prioritize my own love.
Yes, I love that.
That part.
I love that.
Those are fire. I got to get back to my affirmations. Sheesh,
I gotta
that was
start reading
spicy.
my affirmations over again and add
That
to
part.
them.
That part.
I
Sheesh.
started meeting the men that I was affirming, and I stopped reading them every day.
That part.
And now we
Well,
gotta start over because
And
they
that's
ain't on what
okay.
they saying.
so
We
I'm
we
finna
ain't
try
finished with
this.
that story though, Queen.
Oh yeah,
LOL,
see?
y'all.
Yeah, you was
Oh,
spicy.
it's gonna make me cry.
Nah. We need to hear it. We need to hear it.
You
We can,
agreed to get uncomfortable.
we can't see you though,
The way
TT.
that we met,
I
I
can
could
see her.
hear.
Oh, I
it
can't see
was
him. But go
God.
ahead.
Like I couldn't make it up. It wasn't nothing but God. Like how we met because I met him through his mom. Like that's the best person to tell you about somebody is the
Mhm.
person that raised them. And
You're right.
so when she was really like being genuine with me about, because she was like my Uber driver, y'all, and we just connected on this level to where we were just talking about life And, you know, at the time I was trading, she was talking about how she had got into it for a while and just how she was dealing with a lot of stuff with her health. And it was just a lot that she was going through, but she just had her son there that was always there for her. And like you said, living with somebody, because he stayed out of state. So it was long distance. And we only met like the couple of times that he came here, and then I came there, and I was like living with him for a couple of, maybe it was, I don't know, it was like a couple of weeks, but it was just like the best ever. Like it was just like giving everything that it's supposed to give. Like it was giving like we was gonna be the YouTube couple, y'all. Like, you know, everything awesome, perfect. Like I still.
Oh, it's okay.
I was reading my old notebooks, and I had wrote down like when I was with him, like that was when I wrote down the goals that I wanted, like in a 3-month time period, 6-month time period, and a year, and just seeing that like the person that I was around him, it was really just like everything. Like it was like, dang, like now I really I have the opportunity to be best version of myself. And I'm literally just like going back and forth with like, dang, should I just leave my family and just go ahead and do it and be like, this isn't this? But I don't even know, y'all. I'm literally at the point where I definitely would just be like, dang, like, cause we like rehashed it recently, like when we first was talking about starting the podcast. I had a conversation with him about it because y'all, he bought me that microphone when I said I wanted to start my channel. And he made my little intro video for me, and we just had so much fun. And we prayed together, we laughed together. It was just like, gosh, like, how did you mess this up? And so that's why it's like so emotional to me. But at the same time, I'm like, if I would have never went through what I just went through, yeah, like this was a hard time in my life just now. Like I ain't never been through this shit before. Excuse my language, but I ain't never like been this stressed and just tired and drained. And for me to go through that, it made me really appreciate what was there. Like I feel like I wouldn't have known how valuable it was had I not gone through this. Like, yeah, no, it sound good, it seemed good, you know, fairy tale, but it's always like you had that thought in your back of your head, like, dang, is this too good to be true? Like, it got to be something wrong. Like, I feel like you could be crazy in another life, but it wasn't nothing wrong with him. It ain't nothing wrong with him. He just be minding his business, going to work, going to the gym, playing the game. Like,
and here we
real
come
simple.
self-sabotaging.
Like, what is wrong? Like, why would you do that to yourself? And oh my God.
Like, do you not want this? Did you not pray for this? What are you doing?
It definitely does get scary.
And that's why God was like, oh, so that ain't what you want? All right, bet. Let me give you what you want then. Since this is what you want, you want this. You want to be party. You want to have fun. You want to go out. You want to do this and this. Go ahead. Do you. But it ain't going. The grass is greener where you water it. It ain't like, it ain't nothing, got nothing to do with nothing else. Like, if that's where you want to put your energy and time, that's where your energy and time go to. But if that's you putting it in a dead place, putting it in a space that's not gonna grow, then why wouldn't you like take the time to just pour it into something that you know for sure is going to become something in the future? Like, it might not be exactly what you want. Like, the answers. Like, I'm like, like, literally, and I would be asking him questions and stuff like, you know, why you don't want to be a millionaire? He said all he wanted to do was have a family, y'all. I'm like, that's so simple. Like, what do you mean?
Mm.
Like, you don't want to change the world, you don't do this, but like literally that's all you wanted, and at the bare minimum, I know for sure I could do that. And so it's just like, for me, why would you try to complicate this man's life and tell him that, oh, you should be wanting more, you shouldn't be just okay with driving, a regular car, but a regular car gonna get you from A to B and back to A. And that's what my maturity level now versus then, like, again, I know the difference between, okay, being an entrepreneur and still working a job, because you need the capital to do that. Like, it's a lot of missing pieces that got filled in once you took that loss and turned it into a lesson. But like Jazz be saying, like Diamond, you just said, you're going to keep on taking the same loss until you learn that lesson.
Right.
And that's what loving yourself really is applying the knowledge that you've been given. You know what you're supposed to do. Are you going to do it or not?
Mm-hmm. I'll forever love this saying, because I feel like this goes for more than just schoolwork and books and whatever. Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge could be books. Knowledge could be school. Knowledge could be people. But for the most part, it's experience. Like, you literally gonna keep copying and pasting yourself in different parts of your life, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you think you not. Like, you're gonna keep coming back to that if you don't learn from it, if you don't heal from it. Like, you physically have to grow past that person. But it's so
I agree.
it's easier said than done. But I feel you 100%, and I feel like I don't know. Like, we was meant to have this conversation. I know that. I know that, because this came full circle. Like, we are literally each other. Like, y'all for real, my brothers and sisters through Christ. Okay. It don't make no sense how we live the same life in different parts of each other. Like, that's wild to me. Like, I wasn't even going to mention the whole phase, but she said, yeah, no, we had that. We did that. We did that. And I was like, all right, yeah, she got me. We did that. But it's like, I relate to you too. And it's like, it don't make no sense, but it makes so much sense at the same time. Like,
it do. God don't make no mistakes. And like, when we really thought about having this podcast, the level of alignment was undeniable. Everything that every person that we invite, every time that we say something, it resonates with each other. Even if we have disagreements, it still be for us to grow and develop, and us accepting that, it just be even more better. Like, we can really come to a place of understanding of each other and learning and growing each other as a family, because everybody ain't perfect, but you are, though. You're the perfect version of yourself that you can be right now. Perfect creation. And somebody was just like, because I do, like, when I tell you, I do have a little bit of that God in me to be like, I don't know what y'all talking about, but this how I came out the womb. So if my hair grow like this, it's gonna be like this on my head. Like, I ain't did nothing to it. It just grow like that. So what do you mean? Am I going to do something to it? Why would I do something to it when God made me like this? Obviously, he didn't have a problem with it. Right. He thought it was a little razzle-dazzle, Exactly. So who are you to say that I need to slick back my hair, put some stress on my edges to be putting in lay front? They're going to leave me with no more baby hair. Like my baby hair was real. Look for that frontal. Like, what is you talking about? The glue is like waxing on my baby. I'm not gonna play with y'all folks. God made me like this, and that's why I be telling like the kids that I work with. You really got to accept yourself for who you are, because it's some stuff you can't change. And at the end of the day, nobody should make you feel bad about something that you cannot change about yourself. Like, if you're eccentric, then that's just how you are. They're gonna have to accept it, and if they don't, then middle finger to them, okay? because can't nobody sit here and tell you how to live your life, because at the end of the day, you the one that have to live it. Your parents can't tell you. Your boss can't tell you. Nobody else gonna have to deal with your decisions but you. So, and these kids now, they be so sensitive to, like, you know, what other people be saying, because they locked into social media and think that that's just an end all be all. But nobody told you that you was perfectly fine how you are, how you woke up.
That's a fact.
The
They
last
don't get
thing
that.
that I really want to say is I had to realize, you know how people be like, "Oh, what you think this is your world, like whatever," and I had to realize it is.
It is
Yeah.
my
Like
world.
literally, it don't matter who you talking to, whoever. Queen, this is your world. Jazz, this is your world. Ron, this is your world, but this is also my world. Every day we wake up and we go to sleep. Oh, my phone dying, sorry. But every day that we wake up and we go to sleep, our world literally revolves around us. You know?
Mm.
Like, it has to. Otherwise, if we allowed ourselves to revolve our world around other people, we would never grow. Like, we would never become who we were meant to be, because we're so focused on everybody else. Like, this has to be my world. You're invited, you know, if I like your energy, you know, if I like your world and your world is cool, we can enjoy world, you know, but don't ever try to take me out of my realm by trying to say, like, you are literally the main character in your book. You are the star in your movie, which means you are literally in your, like, it's you.
Yeah.
It's all you. And I feel like the moment I realized that, I started loving myself just a little more, because it showed me that all you really have in this world is you. So it's indeed your world. And I had to accept that. And it's not even on a cocky level. It's really like, that's really just what it is.
It's the confidence. You have to have that confidence. You don't have that confidence in yourself. It's like it's not even self sabotage. It's like now you're being phony because you really don't really love yourself. But yeah, it's definitely, that's a powerful perspective as far as it's your world, because I've heard that even for myself. Some people was like, "Why you acting like you all that?" Or why you acting like you bougie, or why you acting like you deserve it all? And I'm just like, I do deserve it all. You know, it's like,
Get
like,
crazy. Get crazy.
right? Isn't that the goal, to want and strive for everything that you fully desire? So why would I just sit there and be like, nah, you're right, I'm not going to, you know? And I'm very intentional with my words. So when I hear something like that, I be like, nah, return the sender, because that package is not for
No.
me, man.
I don't need
Talk to
Not
the
for me at
that.
hand.
all.
Don't need that.
Talk
All
to the
right.
hand.
And be like, oh, okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna tell that to
That's
the next
funny.
female who tried to degrade. Talk to the hand because you don't got a man. Like,
Yo, we.
But no, literally, that's why, like, y'all see, I started calling myself Queen Parker. Like, this is my vision board back there in 2022. Like, it was like, it is my world. Like, when I envision myself, I see myself as literally queen of the world. And I just want to help all of my subjects become the best version of themselves. And I just want to save the planet.
all
And I
of
just
my
want to...
subjects.
I just want to make sure everybody is fed and clothed. And I just want to make sure, you know, like, it's giving very much Angela Bassett. Like, don't play with her. Like,
Her face be like,
yes.
period. I'm trying to walk in every room with the Angela Bassett face, okay? For
That's
real.
funny.
But that's similar to me. I think 2022, that's when I literally titled myself, like, the DiamondW. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I am a brand. I am a personal brand. Like, this is welcome to my life. Like, that's really what it's given, and I don't know how else to give that to you. But there
Amen.
were so many moments where I felt like less of her, and it's like as of recently, I've been bringing it back, like that you are her, like that is you.
Yeah.
There's no other way. There cannot be no other. I don't care how many diamonds there are in the world. This is you. Like you're the diamond. I don't care who that diamond is or that you're the diamond. Okay, and that's
Right.
it. And that's just what it is.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah, no, and
we've
then it'd
been
be like the second you try to even like back down, folks will point you out. Like, I don't know why you acting like that, because you could really like be a lot more cocky than you been. Like, I can really get like, this is me being humble. If I would literally be walking around with a crown every day. Had
Come
if
on
I was
now.
trying to bring
Come
it
on
down a notch.
now.
Like, yes, my
What?
imaginary
I would
crown is
walk with my
always
hand like
on.
this. Okay. Every time you
oh
speak to
we
me, you have to kiss the hand. Okay. Put a big old rock in the middle, like.
Yes.
that's funny.
Exactly.
But yeah,
I
family,
definitely.
this has been one for the books for sure. Like
Yes.
I think because and I can speak for all of us. I think we all have a lot more that we can pour out onto this, because this topic right here, like it's an ongoing kind of thing, you know. But we definitely gonna save it for. We might make this into its own series, but we're definitely gonna have to come back for round two for sure. Um, I definitely want to say first of all to my co-host, amazing, 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 amazing value, and to my special guest on today, I can't say
Yes.
Diamond, the Diamond.
Thank you.
Definitely appreciate
Thank you,
you.
girl.
It was an honor, definitely, because this was
It
the
was.
value that has been brought. Like all month, I want to honor women, right? So we'll have a woman basically every Saturday. So this is gonna be, and you started it. You set the tone, Diamond. I'm like, yeah, dang, like,
My little
oh,
muscle,
she
my little
flexes.
secret sauce. Stop. Don't cut that part out, okay?
We're gonna highlight that part,
We
definitely.
gonna go like this.
Let's go on the promo video.
Now we need that.
Imagine,
Your song.
not my little muscle as a thumbnail. Don't do me. I'm
Nah,
gonna
but
sneak my way back on
definitely,
here though.
yeah.
Yes.
We gotta, like, this was, the vibe was lit. Like, I thought me, Jazz, and Tarian was gonna be dope, and it's just gonna be, we just gonna add people. But like, I'm realizing when you are truly in line with your guests, it's a fire, you know. So we have all four of us on this podcast. I'm just like, yeah, we got to do this again, you know, for sure, for sure.
I would
I
love.
wonder how the
That was
audience
us.
finna
Like, we
take
only knew
this.
Diamond for
It's
4
gonna be like,
minutes.
They gonna be like, did she just cry? She just said
Real
what? Like
tears. These
there
are real
was
tears.
so much. Like this is like real conversation that people
Yeah,
don't talk about.
yeah,
exactly.
Like
that
Real
part,
chill.
add me to the group
that
Your
chat.
part.
I know y'all
perspective
got one.
matters, guys. It really does.
Thank
So,
you.
before we close out, the Diamond, I want you to uh give your Instagram, your businesses, how people can reach you, and then after that, I want you to close us out with a word of wisdom on loving yourself. The floor is
Okay.
yours.
Well, you already gave them my Instagram. It is the DiamondW. I just also created a YouTube for my personal brand, like I was speaking about. It's also the DiamondW. My business on Instagram is D Luxury Clean. So DEELUXUREE Clean. spelled regularly. So,
Mm.
yes. My favorite quote: "Don't dream your life, live your dream."
Ooh,
By any means.
I like that.
Mm.
Keep that down.
Mm. Sheesh. My heart. It was just
My heart.
my heart. My aunt. My aunt. Yeah. Nah, but wow. That was definitely amazing. Family, this was special episode,
It was
the
great.
art and the value of loving yourself. We'll be back on next Saturday with another special guest. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well as every platform that's out there. We are available on it all. Let's get it. We out of here. Have a great one.
Me.